Okay, so I hope everyone can hear me well. Hi, Kamal. How are you? Okay, can everyone see my screen? Okay, okay, okay. So, Kamal, welcome back. I was saying hi. Uh, I think Kamal is having network issues. Is it network issues, Kamal? Whew. You can text if you can't. If you're having issues, you can just send a message. Hi, Olainka. Hello. I'm using this time to just chill a little bit so that others can join. We are currently four. Okay. Okay, we are currently five. Hello, Ijoma. Hello, Alex Ijoma. Oops, sorry. I went to my mail address. I don't even know. Okay. Sorry. The link is still the same. Sorry, hold on, please. Uh-oh. Sorry, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So here, so this is the course outline you're supposed to use for the whole duration of this program. And we've looked at things in, so we've looked at things in week one, we've looked at things in week two. Then I want to ask, GitHub, how was our use of GitHub? Was anyone here able to use GitHub? Just send your response as a message, please. Was any one of us able to use GitHub? We looked at week one, we looked at week two, we looked at week three, we looked at week four. Okay, okay, okay. So Lay says she's struggling with GitHub and Git Bash. Who else? Okay, Shaitan hasn't tried to use Git Bash yet. Mm, okay, you've been coding on Stack Blitz and then using, then send to GitHub. Okay, so Stack Blitz allows you to easily integrate GitHub, so pushing and committing is very easy via Stack Blitz. But thing is that if you're going to be coding, you'll not be using Stack Blitz, so Hence why we need to learn how to make use of um, VS Code and how to use Git Bash, which is the terminal for running your GitHub commands. Okay, so we've looked at week 4. uh we've looked at, does anyone here still have issues with CSS? Does anyone here have issues with CSS? We looked at week 5. I looked at lots of this. Week 5. Week 6, we have not touched pseudo elements, pseudo classes. We haven't. Gradient, we have touched just a little bit. Flexbox, we have. Flex. CSS variables, not yet. Week 8. Media query. This is what we are going to be working on. Media query. So media queries is what we use to make our website responsive. So yeah, we'll be making use of media query. We will learn how to make use of media queries. Now week 9, we're supposed to learn Bootstrap and then JavaScript. So week 10, 11, 12, we may just delve a little bit into JavaScript depending on how fast we are able to um, pick Bootstrap and the remaining parts of the CSS we are supposed to learn. So I'll look for how to add in linear gradients, radial gradients. I'm still supposed to drop one more video for the marathon. We only had 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. So we still have part 3, and I'll use the part 3 to explain pseudo elements, pseudo classes, transition properties, and maybe animations. But I'll use it to explain this 3. Then we'll look at gradient too. Okay, so like I said, does anyone have any issues using CSS so far? How is our CSS? I want you to rate your CSS and send it as a message. Please, I need us to be engaging, please. As much as our mics are muted, I need us to respond so I get to know that we all are getting what I'm saying. So please, I'll need your response. Rate your CSS. A 1 over 10. A 1 to 10, sorry. Relatively easy. I'm happy to hear that, Lay. It's been alright so far. Shaitan, cool. I'm expecting more responses. We are more than 2 here. Amarachi, Alex Ijoma. Okay, 7 over 10, Bumi. Cool. 7 over 10. Olainka, Alex Ijoma, and Amarachi. So I need your response. Oh, sorry. I'm expecting responses. Okay. So while we're waiting, have we all installed Git Bash? In the last video, the one for part 2, I explained how to install Git Bash for those who don't have Git Bash installed already on their laptop. I explained how to install Git Bash and just a brief intro on how to use Git Bash. Okay, cool. Installed it already. Okay, so everyone here needs to have Git Bash installed on their respective laptops, because like I said, the normal Windows terminal can't run GitHub commands. If I press down Windows and R together, I see this pop-up box here, and I press in OK and I say git init. Okay, so what happened was, here, this is the default terminal that comes with Windows. So if you want to open the default terminal that, okay, you don't have now to push. Okay, I'm going to address, so if you have any issue, just let me know in the comment section. I'm going to try to address as much of our issues as possible. So this is the normal Windows terminal. Okay, so if you want to open it, you type in Windows and R. So for those of us, color gradients couldn't do the second assignment. Okay. Aww. Kemi. Is Kemi here today? Ah, she isn't. Oh, that's good though. That's very good. So Windows R will open up this pop-up box. You can run cmd from here. So if I type in git init, what happens is the git init command is just to initialize a folder. You understand? But the reason why this is going to run, I don't know if anyone can quickly try this on their end if you're using your laptop for this session. If you don't have git bash installed and you try to run any git command, you are going to receive an error that that command is not recognized. But because of I have installed git bash on my system, the Windows terminal can understand git commands. So by default, the Windows terminal will not understand. If you're using a Mac, it's going to understand, but for Windows it's not. So you have to install git bash. So when you install git bash, it runs sort of background operations that make sure that all your terminals you're using on your laptop would understand git commands. Okay, so I don't like using the Windows terminal. I prefer using git bash. So I just search for git bash, and because I have it installed, I can easily open git bash, and it's colorful. It's colorful and it's better. Here you even get to see the branch you are currently on, and I'm on the master branch. But anyways, this is the cool thing about GitHub. Let me try to zoom in so everyone can see. So here, if you open up git bash, it opens your root directory. So my root directory is the one that has my name. The name of my laptop is that lady dev. Just to show you guys, if I open up this my folder here, okay, this is the folder, and I click on this PC, then I'm here in local disk. Okay, and then I come to users. All laptops should have this. I come to users. Okay, so here I come to users. This is it here, users. Here, so this is the root. This is the place that git bash shows me by default. So when you open your git bash, like I said, it opens a directory by default. To explain better, if I type in ls, it's going to list lots of folders for me. It's going to list, I'm just going to check one, FEB marathon. Okay, so I'm coming to my folder, so you see that that's where it's speaking. So I come back here, this PC, open up local disk, open up users, open up user, then you would see it picks FEB marathon. So this is the whole, everything that is here, everything that you see here is what git bash is picking here, even down to some projects I have here. It shows up here, so you see them here. So this is the root folder that it picks by default. So this is the root folder. So from here you can go to desktop, from here you can go to documents, but this is like the root directory. So I hope that part is clear. So you are the one that's going to choose where you're going to be saving your work. So I like saving my work in the root directory. So you can choose to save your work in your documents folder, in your downloads folder. I will not advise in your downloads folder because that folder is just, should just contain your downloads. You can put it in your desktop if you'd like. You can put it in, you can even create your own folder, but I like putting it here so that when I open up git bash, I can easily access it without having to go to another folder. I hope that part was clear. I hope what I just explained now is clear. If you have questions, let me know so I can go back. I hope this is clear. Okay. So like I said, I make sure that all of my projects I work on is always in the root directory. That way I can easily access it. But if you choose to put yours in the document folder, for example, in the desktop folder, what you just need to do is change the directory to the folder. So here, desktop, because it's the root folder or the root directory, you can see your normal folders that you see here on your laptop if you're running a Windows. So it's just type in cd, for example, documents. I think documents has an S. Okay, and I'm in documents, and when I type ls, it lists out what I have in documents. Okay, so I'm just going to go back. So to go back is cd dot dot, it takes me back. Okay, so I'm in the root directory. I have here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to FEB Marathon because that's the folder we've been working on. So we are going to look at how to make the pages we created, we worked on, how to make them responsive. So I'm going to move into this folder, FEB Marathon, and here we can see list of what we have here. So I am going to open this folder in VS Code. So to open it, I'll just type in code space full stop, and it's going to open it for me in VS Code. So this is one way of opening a folder in VS Code. This is one way. Another way is to come here. Once you've installed VS Code on your laptop, you can go to the folder where it is. So here is inside this folder. This is where I have FEB Marathon. Okay, so if I open the folder here and I right click, there's an option to open with code. This should be like the easiest for most of us. So if you click on open with code, it opens it up for you and you see it in VS Code. So this is like the shortcut to using Git Bash to opening files or folders. The reason why you need to learn how to use Git Bash to open up folders is because if you're working on a live server, you would not be able to do open with code in case you want to run your commands in the terminal. So if you know how to use Git Bash now to run commands, it makes it easy for you to deploy your code on a live web server. The whole come on, he said thank God finally. Okay, the whole terminal thing is optional. If you are working locally on your laptop, it's optional because VS Code comes with inbuilt functions that lets you open up stuffs on the fly. You understand? Even down to, I think there should be one here. You can even do Git Bash here, so you can open up Git Bash here in this folder. So you wouldn't need to go through the stress of trying to be entering the folder to enter another folder to get the folder. So you can just right click. If you installed Git Bash well, if you installed VS Code well, just a matter of right clicking Git Bash, it will open up for you. I will not recommend you use Git GUI anyways, it makes you lazy. Git Bash and then open with code. So you can open with code here, it opens up, or you can open Git Bash here. So this is like short form. Now you notice that this place here, this view is the same thing with the view that is here. I'm going to type in clear, so it's going to clear my history. So you see it's the same thing. Let's do this here. So you see it's the same thing. Sorry about that. Sorry, hold on. Okay. I think I need to mute my IC here. Okay, so sorry about that. So I hope that's clear. Okay. Yes, today's class is being recorded, Amarachi. Patricia. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm going to open up this. We already have it opened on. Oh, okay. No, we don't have it yet. So, because I already initialized this repo, it picks the branch for me. So if I come to GitHub here, if I open up GitHub, I have this tab open somewhere. I'm going to switch. Okay, so here, this, I have the folder FEB Marathon, and so you'd see here that the branch I have here is main. This is the branch called main, and that is exactly the same branch you'd see here. Let me close the second one. Don't need this. So that is exactly the same branch you'd see here. So whatever branch you choose, this is what it's going to be. So GitHub, like I said, is pretty cool. I know you said I won't cover JavaScript, but if there's time, we can learn the basics. I just want us to be fully grounded with HTML and CSS first. Okay. So here, these are the folders I have: CSS, 1.html, and index.html. And it's the same thing. If I choose to do code space this, it's the same thing with what is here. This is exactly the same thing. So that's the good thing about CSS. I said CSS, sorry, GitHub. That's the good thing about GitHub. I already have the terminal opened here, so I can choose to run the git bash from here, or I can choose to run it separately. So it's your choice, you choose. Okay, so let's get to this. I'm going to zoom into everybody can see. So 1.html, so we have a folder here called index.html and 1.html. So let's run this in the browser. Okay, so to run it, I'll just have to come here in the folder and just double tap so it opens it up for me. Okay, so this is what I have here. This is the one we created first. But you notice that if I come here, you see it's not responsive. So if you are checking this on a phone, this is how it's going to look, which should not be the case. So it's at this point responsiveness comes in. I'll check here also. This 1.html here, it looks okay on desktop view. Then inspect, and you see that it's not looking okay on mobile view. So look at how to make pages responsive. Look at how to do that, how to make pages responsive, and we'll go from there. Let me go up and see if there's any question I've missed. Pele Amarachi, you'll be fine. The more you practice, the more you get better at it. Because CSS is vast. There are lots of CSS rules, and there are new ones that keep coming up. So you have to keep reading. And there is no how I can touch all the CSS rules. So it's up to you to learn more and practice more. But the basics is what I'm going to try my best to explain to everyone. Okay, so Lei says she has Git bash installed, but she doesn't know how to push it and run it, and how to create a CSS file. Well, if you want to create a CSS file here, it's just easy. You click on this icon here in VS Code if you're in the folder, You click on this icon here, opens up space for you to put a new file. You can just call this testing, and you make sure that it has the extension of css.css. If not, VS Code will not know that it's a CSS file. So .css, yeah. So this is just like it's basic. That's how to run. That's how to open up a CSS, create a CSS file. Lay. I hope that has explained. How did you open Git Bash on VS Code? Okay, I'm coming. Let's start from the top. Color gradient. I will touch color gradient in the third part of the marathon. I would really advise we go back and watch that marathon again. If we are having some issues, you need to go back and watch. That stuff is like comprehensive. Hi Kemi, is Kemi here? Hi Kemi, thank you for helping out. Thank you for helping out, Alex Ijoma. Thank you. So how do you link it to the HTML file? Okay, I'll explain that now. Okay, how did you open Git Bash on VS Code? So if you come to VS Code here, you click on terminal. There's an option for terminal here. Then you open up new terminal. So by default, if you have not configured your terminal, what is going to show you? Select, I'm just going to do something. So by default, if you open up, if you've not set up if you've not configured your terminal to show Git Bash, this is what is going to show you by default. When you click on terminal and new terminal, this is what it's going to show you. So to configure it, you click on this here, because this is one terminal open. You click on this drop down icon, then you click on select default profile. So it's going to select the default terminal you have. So currently on my laptop, I have 3 terminals: PowerShell, Git Bash, and Command Prompt. Now what I want to use is Git Bash. Okay, there are different kinds of terminals you can use. There are very pretty ones out there that makes your what you're typing inside your command very colorful and programmer-ish. So I'm going to select Git Bash, but it's not going to work until I exit this and run a new terminal. So the new terminal is going to have it as Git Bash. I hope that answers your question, Bumi. Oh, okay, Kemi, you're welcome. Oh, Lay. Okay. I'm really glad to see that we're helping each other. I really am glad to see we're helping each other. Okay. So, Shay, we are going to be giving Lee money like this. How much? How much, Lee? Name your price. How much? Let's see. Okay, so we have hold on. Okay, so now we're looking at making the page responsive. So this page, we are going to look at how to make it responsive. So how to get it to be this way. If you click on inspect, for some of us, the settings, this your dev tools will be at the bottom. So for you to make it show the way I made it show, I like my dev tools being on the right if I'm working. So there is this option of you coming down here. This is like the basic one you see. Then we have here, there is one here that is going to toggle device screens for you. So you can choose the phone you want. If it's an iPhone, if it's a Galaxy, you can choose. Then you can also add your own mobile device. So even if you want to check for an iPad, say a tablet view, you can do that and it will show you the tablet view. So to see it better, you just come here to the hold on, to the right, and you can see it. The only issue is you may not be able to see it well, so you can open it in a new window. That way you can see it better while you have it here on another window. Sorry, while you have your dev tools on another window here. So it depends on the one that works for you. So the one I like working with, I don't like using this method of selecting the mobile device. For me, it's not always accurate. So I better use this, since this resizes it for me to different screens. So this is a small screen, it resizes it for me. So if it's responsive, I can just say, okay, this is like tablet view. This is how it's going to show on the tablet, because this is like size of a tablet. This can also be size of a tablet. Okay, then I know that, okay, this is like a phone, this can be like a phone size, stuff like that. So I don't like using this. So you choose the one that works for you. Either you use this, you select the phone, you work on the responsiveness, or you choose to do it this way, whichever one works for you. They also help. So okay, I'm glad, I'm very, very glad. Okay, so here, so let's work on making this responsive. So we'll look at what is media queries. CSS. SW3 schools explain to us what media queries are. Check here and open here too. So if you are checking out for some things in CSS, try checking out CSS tricks. They have some cool stuff you can learn from. Yeah, cool stuff. Okay, then we also have Mozilla. Oh wow, I don't know if anyone has noticed, but W3 schools have changed their UI. This is nice. Okay, so CSS media queries. Cool for me. So is media queries. Okay, so let's explain what media queries are. So the media query, how best to explain this? Let's see. Let's try this. That W3 schools is not okay. This is exactly what I needed. So it says here that media queries are useful when you want to modify your site or app depending on a device's general type, okay, or specific characteristics and parameters. For example, we know that a desktop width, the size of a desktop or a laptop, the screen width is not the same as what you see on a mobile phone. So the width varies. So you can use the width to target what should display and what should not display. It's like you are doing if, like you're giving it a condition. Okay, if you notice that the width is this particular size, okay, apply this CSS. But if you notice that the width is a different size, apply the CSS. So you can target the width for a desktop and target the width for a small device, say an iPhone. But you know, phones vary, so even a small phone too can have different width. So you need to know the basic conditions and know how you are targeting it. Then we have some supercomputers that have very large screens, so you also know how to target devices like that. So it's more like giving it a condition. That's why it's called a query. So you're giving it conditions, and then your browser is smart enough sorry about that, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So and then your browser is smart enough to check the conditions and give you the appropriate design you require. So what happens by default is all our CSS is poured out. All the CSS we have is poured out in, I'm going to open this so you see. All the CSS we have here, for example, for this 1.html, everything is here. So by default, the browser is not checking for any condition. What it's just saying here is that, okay, you want me to run all of this CSS, regardless of the width or type of device, this is what you want to run. Okay, so if I hope this I am like this explanation is making sense. I just hope so. I'm going to try to do something. I'm going to inspect now. You'd see that um Google Meet is responsive. Yeah, okay, let me try to select an sorry let me try to inspect an element. So let's see what happens. Not this one, not this one, not this one. Just hold on. This let's not use this. Let's try W3 schools. Okay, so here obviously the site is responsive. Now I'm going to check a section, this one here. Let's see what happens. Sections that I think changed. What to do, what to do, what to do. I'm trying to check for their CSS here on this page and where they had media queries. Hold on, just hold on. Let's see, just hold on. Just notice now that an element can have an idea and a class at the same time. It can have an idea and a class. This is something that I was using in JavaScript for. I'm trying to check for this, if I can see something that has to do with the CSS. Okay, I think I saw something just now. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I think I was trying to check their site if the images of the media queries so we can just see it in action, but it's hard trying to get there, so we'll just do ourselves and see what you can how we can do that or fix that. Okay, so here I was explaining the width, that you can target devices based on their width. There are different ways to target devices. You can target it based on their resolution. You can, like it says here, based on their resolution, based on their orientation. So if it's in landscape mode or portrait mode, how it should show. So when you are designing, you're not just designing for one device. You make sure that you're designing for multiple devices. You make sure that everything is responsive. So depending on the width and height of the viewport, depending on the width and height of the device, in this case, this is what I normally use, the width and height of the device. Then orientation. Sometimes resolution is good because different devices have different resolutions. So the devices or browsers that supports it, Edge supports it, uh, Edge supports it, Chrome supports it, Firefox, Safari, and Opera Mini supports it. Okay, so okay, so I'm just going to use a simple example here. Okay, so this, for example, this is how you do your CSS, your media queries. I'm going to reference a boilerplate you can use. I normally use this boilerplate, so you wouldn't have to start racking your head to know what is the width of a mobile device, the width of a desktop, because it can be pretty hard. So we already have rules already set for different devices, so it's just a matter of having it and just copying and paste it, and makes your work easy. Okay, so I'm going to create a new CSS file now. Then layer, just watch how I am able to link it. I'm going to create a new CSS file. I'm going to call this, now let me create the folder called query. That way I know that all of my queries or responsiveness, let's rename this responsiveness, please. Responsiveness. Then inside responsiveness, I'll create a new file. Now let me call this first one.css. Okay, let's do this. I'm trying to do something. Let's just call this mobile.css. Mobile one, so we know that it's for this mobile one.css. Okay, so this is one. Now I want it to target for mobile. Okay, now there's a boilerplate you can use. So there is one I normally use. Let me see if I can still find it. For devices, I know I searched this once. There is a particular one I use. Okay, yeah, this is it. I'll send this link so everyone can have it. So this is, somebody created this on GitHub. It's a gist on GitHub, so you can just copy this. So what I just do here is copy it. So you see here that this person already added for he explains it for the screen size 1281px to higher resolution desktop. So if you have a very large desktop or a large system, this works for it. This can, anything you add inside here is going to work for that device size. This is also targeting laptops and desktop, which is the normal one. So your normal desktop size should be 1025 to 1280. Then this one is for tablets, this one is for portrait, this is for landscape. Now this one is for low resolution tablets and some mobile phones. Then this is the one for mobile phones. So I am just going to come, I am just going to come here and copy. Hold on. So copy this, then I'll paste it inside here. Okay, so this is that. Then I'm going to target this side because this is what I want to work on for mobile view. So I'm going to have to link this file, if not it's not going to work. So to link it, I'll type in the link CSS. Then now this is how I'm going to reference it. Now this mobile-1.css is inside the CSS folder. So what I'm going to type in here is CSS. That's the folder. Then Inside the CSS folder is inside the folder called responsiveness. So I'll come here and type slash the name of the next folder which is it's inside, and I'll type in responsiveness. VS Code is smart enough to break it down for you. Slash responsiveness. Then it's inside the responsiveness folder, so I'll just type the slash, then the name of the file I'm trying to target, mobile-1.css, and save. And automatically you'd see that it's going to pick this here. So inside here in the head here, let's see, oh, one, sorry, 1.html, that's the file, 1.html. I have to make changes anyways. 1.html. So this is the CSS I just referenced, and if I come here and click on open in new tab, you see it. This is the code here. I need to go back. We are working on index, so it's index I'm supposed to work on. So I'll just rename this file to be mobile.html. Sorry, index. So it's index we are working on now. So I'll just paste it inside here. So index.css. Okay. That way. By the way, this won't work again because I've changed it. So it's going to tell me you can't see the file because I've changed the name. So this is the file we are working with, index.html. Then yes, so you see the file I just referenced here, mobile.index, and if I open it in a new tab, you see the CSS is picked here. So I am going to target the background. Now let me say I want to change the background when it becomes a when it enters mobile view. I hope I'm not rushing, please. I hope I am not rushing. I hope we are getting this. The purpose for having both is dependent on you. There's nothing fixed, Shaitan, as to why you should have ID and CSS. It's you that will choose. If you want to have an ID and CSS, say you have an element and you're targeting it with classes, so different elements with the same class, it works. But then you want it to have a separate style, you can give it an ID to make sure that it has a separate style. Okay, so it's you, your preference. It's you can also use it for JavaScript in case you want to target that element using the ID. So it's up to you to choose. Okay, so I'm coming back here. So mobile index or CSS. Now this is what we are going to work on. Minimum width of 320. This is just the meaning of this. Minimum width is 320, so it's checking between 320 and 480 px. Now see what happens if I come here. Now when I resize, you see, just focus here, you see that the width and height is referenced above. So right now it's 474, 456. As I reduce it, it gets smaller. So now I'm checking between 320 to 480. So this is going to be 320. So you can use this just to know 320. So this is 320. Yeah, 320. So that means any device screen between 320 to 480. I mean, which mobile device wants to be smaller than this? It has to be a very tiny phone. We should not be able to run a browser well as you should. So 320 to 480. So let's see, 480. This is where 480 should stop here. Okay, so depends on how you're targeting it anyways. So now I'm just going to target something. So here we gave the body a background of this. Yeah, now let me change the background. So I come here and I say body, just put your normal CSS body, and then I type in the background, as red. Okay, and when I come here and I refresh this page, this is 320 to 480. Let's look at this size again. Okay, so I was above the 480 mark. You see when it's 481 it changes back. So as long as it's between 320, I'm going to zoom that. As long as it's between 320, let's check 320. As long as it's between 320, so 321 down to 480, the background becomes black. So I don't know if we all noticed the whole. You're welcome, Shaitan. We all noticed the condition. So I gave it a condition. So the media queries is very very important. So it takes preference. Even if you already have your CSS already defined, it can take preference over your previous CSS that you've already written before. That's why the one I added for the mobile took preference. And you notice that when I check here, what I see here for the body is the media query. So this is what I was trying to look for. I didn't see on W3 School. So you see what was added here. So it's targeting the device width, targeting the minimum width 320, the maximum 480. So between 320 and 480 it targets it. I hope that's clear. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's look at how to make this responsive. So we don't want the background to change, so let's just leave the background as it is. I don't want the background to change. I like my spaces being 4, so 4. Yeah, I like it being 4. It's better for me that way. Then what I only need is the mobile, so I can delete the rest. This is just what I need. So I'll send the link to that file so we can always check it out. So you can just copy it and have it somewhere on your laptop where you know you can always check. So let's just put it here. Mobile phones. Okay, so now what we want, I refresh this, it goes away. Okay, cool. Now what we want is for this to look better. So design wise, this image should be at the top. I think I need to get the link to this file itself. Then we'll see how it looks on mobile view. So just hold on, let me get this. Let's see. Hold on. Still with this. No, not that. I think is this. Not this. I can't remember which of the links it is. What's this? Hold on. No, it can't be this. Can't be this. Can't be this. Should you pricing components? Sign up. Rusty Brown. Social media. And this. Okay, finally, this is it. Okay, so this is okay. Now let's have this on mobile view. You see how it looks on mobile. It looks responsive no matter how it's being resized. It's okay, there's nothing coming out of the box. So you see that this is responsive as it should be. Okay, so the way it's supposed to be is, instead of it to be this way, like this, the image should be up, and so it should take it should not be arranged horizontally, it should be arranged vertically. Sorry, hold on please. Is it finished? Okay, so I'm back. So we need to make sure that this comes this is aligned vertically and not horizontally. So how we can do that is, I'm sure we made use of flex here, display flex. So display flex here, uh, display flex. So by default, the display flex here, it takes this and it takes this. Okay. So we can do this and say let this be display block. So it's not flex anymore. I don't know if you just saw what I did. So instead of it to be flex, because flex makes sure that it floats, so it can be on different what's it called? It can be on different so it can be on different lines. So we can change it to being block. So we can pick this card section, copy, then you paste it here, then you say display, then make the display block. So when it's on mobile, let's start. Yeah, so you see it overrides the flex that is here. That's one. Then the next one this page had was there is spacing on the left and right. Unlike ours has a scroll bar, which should not be so, which is terrible design by the way. So we should remove the scroll bar. So this max width would have to go, this max width will have to go. Then would have the width to be 80%. Okay, then we give it, okay, it already has margin auto, so hold on. Then remove that height that we gave it. We gave it a fixed height, the card section a fixed height. So because of the fixed height we gave it, what we are doing is we are just trying to change the styling. So if there's anything we gave it to make it look a particular way for mobile, we change it to make it look better on desktop. We change it to make it look better on mobile. On desktop, we made sure that it had a fixed height, so no matter what happens is in this height that we gave it. So we gave it a height of 280px, but on mobile we don't want it to have that height anymore. So we are going to change it from having the height of 280 to it being auto means it accommodates it. So we change the height to auto. Then the next thing we need to do is give it a fixed width, 80%. That way it has spacing. We can change it to 85% if you'd like, 85% or maybe 90%. I think 90 is fine. So we can say width of 90%. Sorry, hold on, and refresh. Now it looks okay. The only problem we have is this scroll bar, and this scroll bar is coming from this image, and that's because we gave the image a fixed width, remember. So I just need to come to the image again, click on inspect, then you see the width we gave it here. Oh, we gave it a fixed width here. So now this is the issue with having inline styling. So because of I had it inline, even when it's on mobile, that width is, that fixed style is there. So it's better we add this for a mobile view, sorry, for a desktop view. So I'll come back here and pick for desktop. So this is for majority of desktop, so I'll come here and pick this for desktop, copy and put it up here. No, Z. Let this be inside index.css, so I can put it at the bottom here. Okay, then index.html, this is where I added the width. I'll just pick it out. So I'll pick it out and paste it here. Oh, sorry, here. So now I'm targeting card section, right? Targeting card section that has div, or the first div. So to target, I can just come here, copy selector, it picks the element itself for me, then I'll just put it here. Okay, so it's picking the first child. Now you'd see that what is going to pick on mobile will be different. Now you see it's not picking that, but if it goes to a high let's do this. So you see it still picks it on desktop. Let's see, hold on. This view is between 1025 to 1280. So 1025 to 1280. Now I'm guessing my laptop's width is greater than 1280. So let's do something. Let's target it to, this one is high resolution desktop, which I'm guessing is what majority of us also have. Sorry, said. So here it picks anyone that is greater than 1281. So if your desktop's resolution is greater than 1280, it's going to work for it. So here I paste this and I run it here. So here if I refresh, so you see it picks it the width of 115. So apparently the width of my laptop is more than 1281, so that's why this did not work for it. This one worked for it. So if I come here to mobile view, so it's picking from this, so you see it picks it as it should. Now the next one is the border should only be on the top left and top right. So this one will be added here, we'll have to remove it. So we added it here. So we just pick main image, come here, main image, then we want the border bottom left to be 0px, then we want the border top right radius to be 0px, so sorry, 10px. That way we are giving a rounded corner to this and we are removing the rounded corner of this. Now refreshing it gives us what we want. So we just made this responsive and we just used a few lines of code and we made this responsive for mobile. Oh, sorry, Lee. So any questions so far? So most times you don't have to rack your brain coming up with how it should look like on mobile. Most times you already have a design you are working with. So if you have a design you are working with that someone has already designed, a UI designer, you already know how it's going to look. So in this case, I had to follow how it looked on the main. um it's not just for image. It's not just for image. All elements can be responsive. In this case, I targeted the elements I wanted to be responsive. I did not just target the image Kamal. I also targeted the card section to make it responsive. So it's not just for image, it's for all HTML elements that you want to be responsive. So like I was saying, the UI designer will already come up with how it should look like on mobile, how it should look like on laptop, how it should look like on tablet view. So it is that design you are going to work with. Okay, so that's the design you're going to work with. So you use it to know how best. So that means when you are working from the get-go, when you're working on your HTML and CSS, you make sure you're factoring in how it should look like on mobile, laptop, and desktop. Okay, which part is not clear with me? Just send as a message. So does anyone have questions? Anyone have questions? I'm guessing we don't have questions. Okay, no problem. So we've been able to make this look responsive as it should on mobile, that is. Then on desktop, well, desktop is okay, but just that this there's no spacing left and right, the same the way mobile has the spacing here. So there's no spacing. This one has spacing. Okay, down the mobile view looks different. So the mobile view is still the same way, still the same way. So we can come here, copy for tablets. Yeah, this is tablets. Let's come here. Can copy for tablets, come here and paste it inside here. So we know it's speaking for tablets. Then inside here, I will just pick the same CSS that we added for this, since it's the same styling. So we can just pick this and run this. Now let's see what happens when we refresh this. So we're picking from 768 to 768. This is where it's picking from 768. So we don't want it to pick from 768. So let's do this. So in the person's own, anyone from until you get here is when it changes. So let's pick and say where this person's own stopped is 850 before it becomes that. So let's do from 850. So it stops at 850. Let's do this. 850px. I'm editing that. Okay. So if I refresh this, so it works. So as long as we are refreshing we are dragging this, it's still the same thing until it gets to anything above 850. Anything above 850 shifts. Let's check this. Yeah, above 850 shifts. So that's it. Okay. Okay, no problem. You can watch it. So the CSS by default is for what device? Also, how can you know what devices to use for responsiveness? That's why I said it depends on you. How to know what device is dependent on you. If you're given a project to work on, your client is going to tell you what you should work on. So by default, you know that when you're creating a design, you're coding a design, you should make sure it's responsive for laptops, tablets, high resolution desktops and phones. Those are four. That's by default the ones you should make sure that you're styling for. Any other one that is different from that one is now dependent on the client. Okay, if the client is complaining that a particular mobile phone was not targeted or something, then you know, okay, you're targeting a particular one. But the default ones you should have is for desktop, you should have for mobile and desktop. Very important. Most people that check websites, they check them using their mobile phone, so you need to make sure it's responsive. Mobile, not everyone uses tablets, it's just few people. So some designs don't factor in tablet view, so you make sure mobile important, desktop is there, tablet. Then the one that is for super computers or super or large resolution desktops is, say you're working, you might end up making use of a very big desktop, so you have a workspace of your own, and maybe you're even presenting it to the client, and then the client is an office that has a big device, a big desktop. So if you did not target the CSS for a big resolution or a higher resolution desktop, you are going to run into issues because it's not going to align well. So just those four. Any other one is at your own discretion. So do you have any other questions? You're welcome, Kamal. So we've looked at how to make this responsive. So because of time, we're not be able to look at how to make this entirely responsive because we have about 30, let's say 20 minutes give or take. So we may not be able to have this completely responsive. Now this one is, there's a scroll bar, and the scroll bar is because of this image. So you just need to check for the design and know what we are working on here. So here is, sorry, hold on. Okay, so this page here is for this. So to see how it's going to be responsive here, so you see on mobile, this is not entirely responsive anyways. There's a scroll bar which should not be. You should not have a scroll bar if you are working on mobile. If you have a scroll bar, that's bad programming anyways, just so you know. Then there's scroll bar here, so this is also bad programming, very bad designing. Anyway, this is front end mentor, so this is picking from what other people have done. Doesn't mean it's exact. So this is what someone did, doesn't mean that it's exact. Okay, so I'll need to check. So this is how it should look like. I think this is how it should look like. Yeah, this is how it should look like. So this image comes here, this one comes here, so that means this image should be at the top, all these other sections come down, then the other ones too, the footer. So yep, I think that's that. May not be able to fully, let's try something. Let's quickly try something. Okay, so this image, is up here. So on mobile, the image is up while the text is down. So let's try to work on this section. So this is the left section, this is the right section, and it was given display flex. Now let's see. If I give this a width of, because I'm looking at it, I want to be able to push it. I don't want to change the display from being flex to being block, because I want to do something. So there is a property called order. So here, if I say the order of this right section, by default this one comes first, this one comes next. If I change the order and I say order should be 1, and this one should have order of 2. Now you see that what comes to the front is the image, and what is at the right is the text, and that works if it's display flex anyways. So I'm trying to keep the display flex, but then make sure that it is vertical, not horizontal. You can watch the video again so it makes more sense to you. So here I'm still leaving it as display flex. Then justify content. Let's see. Let's see something. Okay. Let's give this a width of 100%. Then give this section display 1. This is so here, if I change this to block, display block, you'd see it shows okay. Yeah, it shows okay. But then the order doesn't work on it. For now, let's just leave it at this most of the time. So here we're giving it display block. Then this section here, this image is too wide. Then this image itself is too wide. So we can give this image a width of 100%. Okay. Yeah, so this looks better. 100%. Then give this margin bottom of 5%. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, so this image is very, very large. Here. This is very, 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 very large. You can change the height 40 px. 90, 150, 190, 300, 350. 300 is fair. 300 is fair. Yeah, 300 is fair. Then we'll move it up better. So let's say 60, 30. Okay. Yeah. So let's target this. Okay, so I just made this section responsive. Then this next section here, this left section here, we gave it a width of 500 px, which is going to be an issue here. So we change that. Then we give it a margin bottom of 3%, 15, I guess. Okay, this is looking better on mobile. Then we can make these sections to be centered. That way the buttons are centered. So we can say text align center. So it's at the center. This is looking okay. Then the last one is this section here. I hope you're like getting what. Actually, my mic is muted. Can everyone hear me, please? You're welcome, Kamal. Okay, so I just made this section okay. So I targeted this here, but it's different because it's supposed to be up and this one down. Okay, so we'll see for how to fix that anyways. But so that I don't lose all these styles, I'm just going to come here and copy it again. So here on text on mobile, the margin bottom should be, let's see, so now we are working on 1.css, right? So we're going to create a CSS, a responsiveness CSS file for this. So we'll call this mobile-1.css. Then inside here, I'm just going to copy this because I'm picking the same query. So I'll just copy it and paste it here. And I'll delete everything here because I want to be empty. Then I'll just have to add it inside here, 1.html. So link CSS, it's inside CSS slash responsiveness slash mobile1.css. Okay, so if I target, now I'm targeting this one, this, and then I'll say text align center. Then which other one am I targeting? See, I'm targeting this right hero section on mobile. So see this, and the width is 100%. 100%. Sorry. Which one again did I change? So this particular one, let me copy the selector. So this should be 100% also. So I can just copy this since they're using the same one, 100%. them share the same style. The next one is this one. Copy selector. Oh wait, I think I just did something wrong. So I'm just copying this, paste it here. I think I just did something wrong. This one that I targeted, I didn't copy the right selector. So yeah, this is it. Better. Okay. Okay, so this is this and this. Let's refresh this. Okay, then the next thing that we are supposed to do is we gave this one a margin bottom of I think 95%. Then we made sure that hero section became display block. So hero section becomes display block. So come here and say display block. Sorry. Then this one is display block. Then you should have a margin bottom of 95%. Let's see. Save and run it. Okay, I think that's that. Then this particular section, this left hero section, has a width of 500%, which you don't want. So we make sure it's width of 100%. So we can still come here again and share this 100%. Save and run. Yeah, this looks okay. This section looks responsive enough. Okay, there is spacing. Hold on. Let's give this section a margin bottom of 5% or 15%. That way it has space. So I'm targeting left hero section. Hold on. Targeting left hero section. And I'm saying left hero section should have margin bottom of 15%. Then refreshing this should make it look better. Just that we're having this scroll bar, and the scroll bar is because of this here. So I'll look at how to touch that later on because of time. This is just like the last one remaining. Then this one will need a bit of JavaScript, because here you notice what happens when this whole section goes away. What's just left is the logo and then a navigation icon. What is left is a logo and a navigation icon. So when you click on the navigation icon, it shows everything to you in a different format. So this is going to take JavaScript. Yes. And you see it here, javascript.js, which we've not touched yet. So but anyways, I will still add this. I'll add making this footer section responsive. You can try it on your own if you like. I would add this to the last video for the marathon. I'll add this to the last video. Okay, so at this point, I think at a point some of you were not understanding what I was doing, but I believe if you watch the video, this recording, you understand better. But to an extent, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how well did you understand today's class? Everyone, please, I need responses. How to use Git Bash, how to use VS Code, how to open up VS Code in a folder from your file manager, how to open up Git Bash from your file manager, how to use the terminal on Git Bash on your VS Code. I hope we all understood that. I'm going to assume no response means we all understood that. If you have any questions, now is a good time to ask. I'm going to push this. So to push it, I'll open up my terminal here. Since I already linked this repo, so just to add git add space full stop, then git commit m, just to explain what I did. Worked on the responsiveness, sorry, for index.html and slight responsiveness for 1.html. So committed it, so it has kept track of the things I worked on, mobile 1, mobile index, everything I worked on. Then I'll just add git push. She's going to push this for me to the live, to my GitHub repo. So this is pushing, and if I come back here and I refresh, now you see my last commit was before now 5 days ago, but now 24 seconds ago, so automatically it has entered GitHub. So even if it happens that I lose my device, I have this whole code backed up somewhere on the live server. That's the cool thing about GitHub. So okay, cool. 6. I guess no other person wants to respond. Thank you, Victoria, for responding. Yeah, it's fine. When you watch the screen recording, you get it perfectly. So you get it perfectly. So that is that. So okay, no problem, no problem. The video is still recording, so once the meeting is over, alright, you'll be fine. You watch the videos. Try to watch the marathon videos first, Kemi, if you haven't. I would advise you watch the marathon videos, the first and second part before this, if you happen to watch, because it explains better. Because what we are doing is what we did in the marathon class, so we are just making it responsive. So okay, so okay, so thank you everyone. I'm going to pause here for today. Any questions, let me know in the Slack channel. I have to quickly rush. And do something else. But thank you all for attending. We're not really much today as we normally are. I'm guessing because we are just joining back after the long break. So I'm hoping for more of us showing up tomorrow. There's class tomorrow, Wednesday. Yeah, we're having class tomorrow. Monday's class couldn't happen because I was soaked yesterday. I was drenched in the rain. So tomorrow there'll be class 5 p.m. same time. Okay, so everyone, thank you. To have a nice day. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Shaitan. Rest well too. Bye.